Today's video is for a very specific group, out-of-town owners who currently own a student rental or an investment property near Virginia Tech. So maybe you bought a townhome or a condo for your child while they were a student at Virginia Tech years ago. Or maybe you picked up a rental in a great neighborhood that's been providing a great return on investment. Or maybe you've owned a property here in Blacksburg for a while and now you're just wondering, is now a good time to sell or should I keep holding on to it? So this is not a video about the pros and cons of whether owning it is worth it or not worth it. Student rentals in Blacksburg can be fantastic properties, and many of them are. And I dive deep into that topic in a number of other videos on my channel that I'll link below. But instead, this video will help you understand why some owners decide that this is the right time for them to sell. What typically motivates those decisions? How to think about the equity in your property, some real examples using simple Blacksburg numbers, and how to evaluate your property's value, the current rental rate versus that of nearby units, and whether selling fits your personal goals. Now, before we dive in case you're new here, my name is Grant Irby, your trusted real estate resource right here in Blacksburg and the New River Valley. And it's our goal with this YouTube channel that it's your #1 resource for all the things you need to know about relocating, living in, and investing in this awesome corner of Southwest Virginia. And please, if you find this information helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, if you are thinking about making a move, I would love to be the realtor that you choose to work with. All right, let's dive in. As you likely know, Blacksburg has been a very strong real estate market for many years. And if you've owned a property in Blacksburg for a few years or longer, you already know the market here has been incredibly steady and very strong. Home values have climbed consistently. Demand from Virginia Tech students remains high. Rental properties close to campus stay popular. Many owners have seen meaningful appreciation over time, and all of this makes for a solid long-term investment environment. Because of this, owners today often find themselves with something valuable, a good amount of equity. And that leads to the next important topic. So why might some owners ask themselves, should I sell? This doesn't necessarily come from problems with the property. Instead, owners typically come to this question because of life changes or financial planning. And a large percentage of owners bought the home when their child attended Virginia Tech. And once graduation happens, they have to evaluate whether they want to continue being landlords or move their money into something new. And a big part of deciding whether to sell has nothing to do with the property itself. It has to do with the amount of equity inside the property, which is the money that's built up over time. So here's a simple way to think about it. The property has grown in value. You might now have $150,000, $200,000, even $300,000 tied up in it. And the question is, what do you want to do with that money? Now, some owners may want to continue letting that equity sit and grow, and others may want to move that equity into a new direction. Either choice is completely valid. It just depends on your personal goals. And over the years of helping parents of Hokies and investors sell their investment properties, I've seen them do it for a variety of reasons. One, to buy a different rental property. Now that may be a vacation rental or a property closer to where they live, or another type of rental here in Blacksburg that may give them better cash flow. And selling and cashing in on their equity simply gives them the funds to do that. Number 2, I've also seen owners sell to purchase a home for another child in college. And this happens all the time. Parents move from a Virginia Tech rental to a property in another college town. Number 3, they may want to sell and liquidate that equity and put it into retirement savings. Once an owner has a significant amount of equity, selling can fund IRAs, investment portfolios, or other long-term financial planning. Number 4, I've also seen owners use their equity to buy or upgrade a primary home. Now, none of these are better or worse. They're simply examples of options available because the property has appreciated so well. Now, before we walk through a few straightforward, real-life examples, I want to note you don't have to wait for your rental lease to expire before you sell. In fact, many, if not the vast majority of student rental properties in Blacksburg are sold with the current lease in place that the new buyer then takes over. And I dig deep into the timing of buying and therefore selling these student rentals in last week's video. So be sure to head over to my channel and check out that timeline that most buyers operate within. Okay, let's jump into those examples so you can see how owners think through this in real life. Example 1 is one of my clients who bought a Blacksburg townhome 11 years ago. She purchased it for around $135,000, and now it's worth, conservatively, around $300,000. And after closing costs, that owner could walk away with roughly $147,000 cash if they sold it. And that doesn't include the principal of their initial loan, which they would have paid down or paid off, and the amount of cash flow they've earned while renting it out over the past 11 years. And for many people, that's a meaningful amount of equity. Some choose to keep the property and continue to cash flow that monthly rent and let the value continue to rise, while others use that large chunk of equity to pursue a new goal like putting almost $150,000 down, or likely more, towards another property that may provide a larger amount of cash flow each month. I've helped some sellers with a very similar situation sell their student rental and put that equity into purchasing a new townhome or one of the new construction developments by Eagle and States and Homes located just outside Blacksburg town limits. Now those units, well, obviously brand new with brand new appliances and major systems, often produce a much higher monthly rent and cater to a different audience than the units that are really close to Virginia Tech. So check out my full-length YouTube video about the Eagle Townhomes and Eagle Villas for more in-depth information about those. Now, example number 2 is another real-life example that I saw play out earlier this year. My clients bought a condo in 2019 for their student who pursued their undergraduate degree and a graduate degree, so they spent a total of 6 years in Blacksburg. Now, they purchased the townhome for $185,000 and then turned around and we sold it for $300,000. Again, after closing costs, they saw an appreciation of almost $100,000 from that original $185,000 purchase price. And owners in this situation often say things like, you know what, we're proud of what the property has done, and now that our student isn't living in it, we don't want to be a landlord and we're ready to look at what's next. Some continue renting long-term and utilize professional property management companies to manage things like securing tenants and executing leases, collecting rent, and managing maintenance issues. The real takeaway for owners, and the most important message from all these examples, is this. Owning a student rental in Blacksburg can be a great investment, and selling can also be the right next step depending on your goals. Both paths are good. It's simply about choosing the one that aligns with your timeline, your long-term plans, your lifestyle, and how you want to use your equity. There is no wrong answer. So how do I help out-of-town owners decide what to do? Well, I'm a huge believer in that saying, facts are our friends. Because I believe facts are our friends. And if you'd like a clear, simple breakdown of your options, I can help by providing the following. First, an accurate value of your property today. Now, this isn't a guess. It's a true market number based on comparable sales and market knowledge. I've got a one-page report for each student rental neighborhood and complex in Blacksburg that I'd be happy to share with you. It contains updated recent sales so you can see how your property stacks up. Number 2, if you're not sure if selling is for you, but you're interested to know how your rental rate stacks up with other similar units around yours, I can also provide a free rental analysis and share the data that my team has collected with rental rates for nearby properties. And number 3, I can also provide a straightforward look at your equity and create a seller net sheet so you have a good idea of what you'd actually walk away with if you did decide to sell. Ultimately, I'm here to provide a neutral conversation about your choices. Keep it, sell it, buy something else, use your equity differently. I'll walk you through all the possibilities. No pressure, no sales pitch. And if you are curious, well, then I'll share more of my proven strategies to not just list homes and condos, but to actually sell them. These are tried and true strategies that have proven to get my sellers more money and sell faster than others in the NRV. So if you're an out-of-town owner and you're simply curious about what your property's worth or what your options look like, please reach out anytime. Or if you hear all this and you want to know more about your options to enter this great rental market that we have here in Blacksburg, feel free to check out my other videos. Either way, please reach out, introduce yourself, and share how I can best help you achieve your goals. My cell phone number and my email address are on the screen, and I would love to chat with you about your options. And please do like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can continue to follow along about all things investing and owning and living in Blacksburg and the New River Valley. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.